Imagine, for a second, you move into a new apartment, right? You buy a bunch of furniture. And you kind of do it in a rush. Got to move in. You don't have a ton. You got a couple of things. But you piece it together, trying to do it on somewhat of a budget. You pay a lot for certain items, and then you skimp on others. And then you move all in, and like 6 months later, 8 months later, you look around your apartment, and you're like, this shit does not, this is the feng shui of my place is not vibing. These items do not fit together well at all. I've got a coffee table, too big for my couch. I've got a rug, doesn't even quite fit into the room right. My entryway shelving, I thought was going to be all clean lines now. The coats are everywhere. You don't even get to see the clean lines of this design within reach item that I spent like $600 for. Everything else is kind of schlocky. You went to IKEA to get the rest because you couldn't afford everything being top dollar. So you hold a garage sale. And you're like, everything in here can go. I'm not wedded to a goddamn thing. I'm ready to start fresh. Listen, I can work around a couch. I know I can work around an end table. But this whole setup, I just know there's something not right about this setup. And then you get some people peeking in the window. They touch your stuff. They're chatting. And the end of the garage sale ends. You look around, and nothing is gone. Nothing. Nobody wants your shit. No one. No matter what. Like, what? You got some offers, folks, for that particle board IKEA table that you paid $325 for, and you knew it wasn't a great price, but you couldn't spend $700 on one, so you just kind of get something. It's particle board, right? Nobody's going to spend $325, $300, what you spent $350 on. It's particle board. Buyers, in some of your stuff, they want you to pay them to haul it away. Like, listen, this isn't fucking Goodwill, YMCA, March of Dimes. You're going to need to give me $50 to haul that piece of shit out the door. That right now, folks, is the New York Knicks. A week before trade deadline, there was no one more active than the New York Knicks. They were trying to get everybody. They went after C.J. McCollum. They went after Norm Powell. They went after Harrison Barnes. They went after Jalen Brunson. They went after Terrence Ross, the Orlando Magic. Even Miles Turner, the injured star. You would think that they would have learned their lesson given the fact that they have Mitchell Robinson, who also has foot issues. But nothing. And not a thing happened. Even after you saw New York Post, everyone's available, everyone's gettable on the New York Knicks. Even Julius Randle, the $800 entryway piece from Design Within Reach, he is even available for the right price. No one wanted your stuff. 0 people wanted your stuff. Folks, if you are ready to get rid of all the furniture and reshuffle, rebuy, figure out, maybe do a little swapperoo, that is not a team confident about their current roster. That is not someone who's happy with the setup of their apartment. Facts. Mitchell Robinson, unrestricted free agent this summer. He's asking out. He's basically signaled to your team he's not re-signing. You have shopped him around because you know you will get nothing for him if you don't move him now. You look around and even he is not traded. What gives? What gives? What is the mindset of the New York Knicks right now? I don't know. But here's what the New York Post, my man Mark Berman, is saying. Being sellers and dumping players just to open up summer cap space was considered, but then scrapped. AKA garage sale. And this offseason will now stand as one of the most important ones in franchise history. That's a little much, don't you think? That's a bit of a hyperbole, but you know how these New Yorkers are. You know, everything's the fucking end of the world. The most important off-season in history. We'll see. Poor Tibbs, though. Tibbs. They do him wrong. They do him so dirty. Here's what he had to say about it. The fact that he even needs to answer any trade questions as a head coach. Listen, I'm not the GM here, okay? This is what he said. We already made a trade earlier on Cam Reddish. Excuse me, pause. Do not. He was the random little ottoman you picked up off the street and you realized very quickly did not fit. Let me just throw this thing back outside. This shit got mold inside. I'm not sure about this. They tried to flip him like that. They literally just got him, and they tried to flip him immediately. Did not work. He said, that's part of it. You look at your trade possibilities, free agents, Leon Rose, Wes, Scott Perry. They look at this in totality. He wants to keep his job so bad. It's ongoing. It doesn't end. It's every day. Thinking about how we can improve this team. Propaganda. There's short-term planning, long-term planning, and you're always constantly looking at both. That's Leon's job. He'll continue to look. There's always possibilities. Is there? Different ways you can improve the club. And I trust him. I don't know that he said it quite like that, but that's the most optimistic quote. Reread. Sounds like they are looking right now at the buyout market. Because the Knicks just finished getting an open roster spot filled, but they still can waive my man, Kemba Walker? Kemba might be in line for a buyout. He is also on sad boy season. This is what he said. Yeah, I'm here. Like I said, what can I do? It's not up to me. I'm just a player. I don't make those decisions or anything like that. So, yeah, I want to be there. That's why I came here. To be a part of my home team. But it's not really my decision. Oh, that feels like a change of tone. Does not seem like he's skewing optimistic. We'll say that. To say that Kemba's not a part of the problem would be not true. Not true. He started out bad, then he got benched, and then he got better, and then he got worse again. Right now, Kemba has shot, I can't even believe what I'm looking at. Right now, Kemba has shot 28.6% from the field in the last 7 games. Yikes. I tell you, let me say it again for the folks in the back who aren't quite processing this. Right now, Kemba Walker, New York legend, is shooting 28.6% from the field. Not from 3, not from 25, 35 feet out. Including right underneath the basket to whatever the furthest distance is that he shot. All of those together combined on average, 28.6%, under 30% in totality. Bad. We've already talked about Julius Randle's season, that he only seems to ball out on nationally televised games. We've also noted, when I was talking about the coffee table made out of particle board when you could have spent another $200-$300 on solid wood, that analogy was Evan Fournier. He is the particle board coffee table boy. He is a model of inconsistency. You only get one move with him. Those coffee tables? You've got one move. Probably the move from the IKEA to that apartment and nothing else. Not the IKEA, set it up, build it, put it in storage, put it into a new... No, that's Evan Fournier. And that one move was in Tokyo. Literally, that was his best version, was the first place. Tokyo. You took it from Tokyo to New York, and you thought that baby was going to hold your feet up when you watched the TV? That shit folded quick. Sheesh. In his last 14 games, Evan Fournier has scored anywhere from 4 points to 30 points, including 5 games of 20 or more, good, and 5 games under 10, bad. The only trade the Knicks made was, again, for my guy, Cam Reddish, a.k.a. the poof that you got on the side of the road, realized really quick wasn't quite the decor you thought it might be when it was free. Same guy who left Atlanta is averaging 12 minutes and 5 points per game during his 11-game stint. He has seen 4 DNPs. Tibbs is reportedly not a fan. Reddish has actually been pretty good. He played pretty well when they beat the Golden State Warriors. They did go on the road. They played 5 games on the road. They only won 1. And that was the game Cam Reddish balled out, played like 17, 19 minutes, had a bunch of points off the bench. Apparently they tried to trade Cam Reddish for Jalen Brunson. If you thought you were going to trade a poof off the side of the road for a mid-century modern cocktail table from like the early 1950s, a Renaissance piece that is peaking right now 70 years after, like Jalen Brunson is an American original. Jalen Brunson is one of the better role player point guards in this league. Cam Reddish is getting DMPs, okay? Poof off the street. Mid-century modern end table. To me, this feels like the Knicks, after being the darlings of last year, are at what we would call a fork in the road. It's not just me saying it, obviously. Mark Berman, as I said, calls this offseason the most important in franchise history. Could it have something to do with a very unhappy fat player living in New Orleans, currently rehabbing his foot in Portland? We don't even need to say his name. You know who I'm talking about. I mean, it's Zion. I mean, this team is already basically the Kentucky East with 5 UK Wildcats on it. 5. Kevin Knox, Julius Randle, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, didn't know he was on there, Nerlens Noel, and Emmanuel Quickley. This could also become the Duke Blue Devils team with Cam Reddish, RJ Barrett, and Zion. I don't know, man. The Knicks are apparently still aiming for the playoffs, sort of aiming for the play-in, despite being 7 games under 500, 2.5 back. 2.5 back of the 10 seed. Yikes. This seems like a team that really should just say, take it all. We've got a generational piece here if we go ahead and tank. Paolo Banchero's right around the corner. Chet Holmgren right around the corner. Jabari Smith right around the corner. I don't know. It's going to take a lot for the Knicks to resurrect their season, I tell you what. Yeah. But you know what? They did go on a 1-4 West Coast road trip, and that one win. I'm pushing P. I'm trying to find the sun in the gray clouds and beating the Warriors. If you're going to win 1 out of 5 games, make it against the team that has the 3rd best odds to win the title. You know what I'm saying? Hope springs eternal for the Knickerbockers.